Good afternoon. As Bob said, this really is a two announcement press conference. So I'll make mine very brief and go through mine, and then we'll get on with an incredible year and incredible season that took place this year in men's basketball. Today, I'm here to officially announce that on behalf of the University of Memphis and the Department of Athletics, that Josh Pastner will remain the head coach, our head basketball coach for the long term. Thank you. I would like to point out that the process for creating a new long-term agreement began months ago, and working directly with our president, Dr. Shirley Raines, our vice president, David Zettergren, and my senior leadership team, and several key financial benefactors to put together what we believe is a sound and long-term wonderful agreement between Josh Pastner and the University of Memphis. I would like to point out and commend Coach Pastner for what he has done these past 4 seasons. It has been remarkable in what has taken place both in the arena and in the academic, the classroom, and certainly in the community. You may or may not know, but before September 1st, this men's basketball team will graduate 10 of its members. 5 young men will walk in May, and 5 young men will walk in August. They have an APR of a perfect score of 1,000, and they've won 31 games, conference championship, undefeated season, and second-round victory in the NCAA tournament. I am honored to continue to serve as the athletic director and work side by side with Josh Pastner. He's an incredible human being who coaches basketball here, and I'm very proud to call him my head coach. I'd like to call Josh Pastner to the podium.
Sorry about my, first of all, about my attire. I thought we were going to meet upstairs in front of the office, so it's a normal media day, but I've been meeting with players all day. But first and foremost, want to thank Dr. Raines, who I think is the best president in the entire country. We are so fortunate and lucky, as not only as a university, but a community, for a leadership position like she has to be able to lead us all. So we're very thankful for that, Dr. Raines. And to my great buddy, longtime friend, our director of athletics, Tom Bowen, I love you both. I mean, these two were very, very grateful and blessed to have leadership positions as a president and athletic director, and these two fine people, and Dr. Raines and Tom Bowen leading us. And I'm privileged and honored and very grateful and blessed to be able to work for 2 outstanding people with such high character and integrity, and it's an honor to work for both of them. I want to say, obviously, for me, I'm just like, hey, I'm the coach at Memphis. I understand. I've told everybody, you know this, that I'm very grateful to even be the head coach at Memphis. It's not a birthright to be able to be the coach at Memphis. It's a privilege and it's an honor, and I be able to work for so many good people. We have great student athletes, just tremendous coaching staff, but there's no question Tiger Nation is phenomenal. I mean, I believe it's the best fan base in the entire country. There's nothing like it. That includes even of the wins and the thrill of victory, and even at the times when there's a loss and people are upset. That's what makes it great, because it's their program. They love it, the passion, the emotional involvement, and it's special. It's really special. And to all the people in the athletic department and across in the whole university, to be able to work for so many great people. I mean everyone here, you know, whether it's Bill or Ren or Stacy or anyone else. I mean, just to have the opportunity to work for them and Bob, and just a tremendous amount of people. And I've said it many times with feel. I'm a feel guy. I believe in people, and we are lucky in this entire community to have such great people, not only in the athletic department, but in the entire university. And so, again, it's a privilege and an honor. I can assure you that any credit to anything should go to, obviously, to our student athletes, because they're the ones who have done the job in all areas, not only on the court and in the arena, but most importantly in the classroom and in the community. I get so many emails constantly from our fine young men representing the university and the city at the highest level, in so many different areas, and that is special. That is really special. We got a good group of guys, and again, academically, to be in the situation APR-wise where we're at, to have the opportunity to have the graduation where we're at, and then just to make the guys' understanding of making the difference in people's lives all throughout the community is special, and people that know that travel with us and everything else. I mean, I'll tell you a story on the plane ride home when we landed on Saturday night. DJ Steffens takes the microphone from, at where the flight attendants has it, and gets on and thanks Dr. Raines and Mr. Bowen and the fans and the band and the cheers from the entire University of Memphis, basketball team. He thanked everybody for all of us, everyone that came along. I mean, that's not easy to do, and no one told him to do it. He did it on his own, and that's the type of young men that we have. So very proud, very honored. The future is very bright here for Memphis. We're excited, so excited about the future in so many different areas. I mean, you look at the recruiting, not only for the class coming in, but also for the 14 class, the 15 class, the 16 class, and beyond. A lot of good players locally. Obviously, we're a national program, so we're going to recruit the very best all over the place. So we're in with great prospects, so that's great. And the core group of guys returning with the returning guys that we got a chance to be really good and a lot to look forward to. I mean, the league, we're as healthy as we've ever been. I mean, just so much to look forward to going to next season. I mean, I think the fans should be ecstatic with the conference next year. I mean, our schedule and everything else, and just even in conference play. I mean, I can already feel the excitement from around the city. So much to look forward to. A lot of positive, and I got to give a last shout out to the media. I mean, what other coach would be hugging the media and trying to bring it in for stuff? The only guy that didn't bring it in that one time was Jeff. Everyone else brought it in. But we appreciate your coverage. And again, we don't take it for granted. It's not a birthright. It's not an automatic that you get that coverage. 99.9% of places you're on page 9C of the sports page. We're on page 1C. That includes whether it's radio, print, whatever it may be. So we're very, very thankful for the coverage we get. That is not something that we take for granted. I promise you that. It's very, very important. That includes when it's in any direction, but we're very thankful for the coverage. Very, very thankful. So any questions? Bob, should I go to questions? Did I miss anything?
We can. Jacqueline has a microphone. We'd ask that you raise your hand for a mic.
Josh, as you were finalizing things with Tom, there was a lot of rumors circulating about other programs possibly being interested in you. Did you receive any phone calls from any other universities?
Well, Greg, I mean, a couple things. Number one is part of the business. There's people are going to, when you've done a good job, you hope you've done a good job. I mean, your name's going to be thrown out, this and that, and I don't believe there's any issues of talking as long as your bosses are always kept in the loop and things like that. So. That's just normal. That's in any walk of life, and that's. I hope we continue to do very well. That your name is mentioned in the future, because that means you're doing a good job. That's just normal. But let me tell you this: Memphis is an elite job. I want to be very, very clear on that. Memphis is a high level job, and I've had more people tell me, man, Coach, the pressure of Memphis, when I say pressure, the basketball world, not real life pressure, but the basketball world, and man, just the intensity. You know what? Some people like it, some don't. I love it. I love it. I don't take it for granted, and that's what I tell people. It's such an elite job, and it's a special job. And you look at the success rate here for so long. The program is so high level. And that's because of the fan base. The fans are what makes this program one of the 5 best programs in the country. I believe this is a blue blood. When everyone talks about a blue blood, this is a blue blood.
Coach, is it kind of a relief that now you can, put this behind you? You don't have to worry about other programs calling you. You can just focus on next year?
I wasn't worried about I was focused on Memphis. I was, when we lost to Michigan State, Sunday, I was sick. Sunday, it really hit me that, man, the season's over, And I was already talking to my staff on Sunday, what can we do next year to change some things so when we do play a Michigan State team, if it's like that in a round of 32, so we can get to the Sweet 16. Now I do, obviously there's matchups and things like that, and I believe that if, with the new league we're in, we're going to have more opportunities. We're going to play some of these other teams that are like the Michigan State in terms of size, so we'll be able to have a good barometer of where we're at before we get to the NCAA tournament. And so my whole thing, my focus was Memphis. I mean, I'm the coach at Memphis. I was the coach at Memphis, and that's where it's at. My family loves it here. We have so many good friends, and the people are so invested in their program. This is their program. I'm just a gatekeeper the way that I look at it. I just kind of sit in the chair, and I have a burning desire to make sure everyone's proud of their program on and off the court. And the one thing that hasn't been done here, the only thing that really hasn't been done is to win a national title. Obviously, it's so hard to do, but that is a goal. That is something that we want to accomplish, and it can be done here. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So that is something that we're all striving for every single day.
Hey, Coach, I know we're here today for your announcement. Yes, sir. But is any word on the assistant coaches? Will they receive an increase? Or
I'm always going to take care of my staff, and obviously you don't have success without tremendous staff, assistant coaches, and things like that, and support staff. So we're always going to take care of our staff. I mean, that's there's so many more. There's so much that goes involved in the program. Obviously, the first credit's got to go to the student athletes. But then you're looking at the staff, support staff. I believe I have such a great staff, one of the best staffs in the country. So they're always going to be looked after. Any other questions about even 13-14 year coming up?
Josh, I know you just started to talk to the guys and the season just ending, but have you had any confirmation from players that are contemplating not coming back?
I've started meeting with all the players. Like I said, that's why I was a tad bit late, because I was meeting with players. The first and foremost thing is I want the guys to finish academically. I mean, look, the new rule with the NBA, you only have until, I think, April 15th. You can't test the water. It's either in or you're out. Pretty simple. Now, I believe all the guys, I never tell them exactly what they should do, because they've got to make the best decision for them. But I believe our core group's going to be back, and I'm meeting with them. And the thing is we have a chance to be really special next year. I believe if our core group's back with the recruiting class coming in, I mean, I believe we should be ranked top. I'll say top 15, but we could be a top preseason top 10 team and have some tremendous opportunities throughout the year to be at a very, very high level. And with our new TV package and everything, I mean, being where you're at tremendous exposure. So, I expect our core group to be back. I really do. And with our recruiting class coming in, like I said, we can be really good next year.
Josh, John Martin, Commercial Appeal.
John?
Can you just, speak to the situation that you've been able to build here with, you say that you expect the core of your group to come back with the recruiting class. Can you just kind of speak to how much easier, that major decision to stay here with what you've built?
Yeah, I mean, again, I wanted to be the coach at Memphis. I love being here. So my whole thing was, regardless of anything, I was coaching Memphis. And so the thing with our core group is, obviously next year we could have a great mix, John, of older guys, senior guys, and then also 5 guys of freshmen. But you mix that in, and we have a chance to have a really, really good year. We have a lot of talent. Like people don't really know how good Damian Wilson. I think Damian Wilson can be really good, really, really good. So I think his best basketball is going to be next year. I mean, look, your biggest improvement between your freshman and sophomore year, and I think our guard play can be really, really good. I love these guys. We got good guys. We really have good guys, and again, they're good ambassadors for the university. I mean, I had people tell me all the time, and they would go watch the women's basketball game, and they would spend time with the fans. I mean, I get emails all the time. so I know what's going on with our guys, and one thing about them is not only are we winning, but they're doing their job in the classroom and in the community, which is so important.
Jeff Calkins from the Commercial Appeal.
Jeff.
Can you compare a little bit how you feel today compared to 4 years ago when you were standing up at the podium? And then also, back then the expectations were, nobody knew. Now the expectations for the next 4 years might be higher than for the last 4 years. Are you prepared for even increased expectations going forward?
Yeah, well, two things, Jeff. Number one is, you're right, 4 years ago, I mean, I remember, and I said this in the press conference on, people talk about pressure. Again, I like to change pressure in the basketball world, not real life pressure, but pressure in the basketball world. I said, how about taking over the job, and you basically have like 5 scholarship guys, and the city, which depends on the team, and everything around it to keep it at a high level. I remember the first 3 weeks, I had to have somebody, a manager, drive me around just so I wouldn't fall asleep driving, because I was going days without sleeping, just trying to keep things manageable. Heck, I was begging CJ, CJ Henry, who was Xavier Henry's brother, who was a baseball player. Will you stay? Just because I had to fill out a roster. I was begging him, please stay. We need some players. And I mean, look, I took DJ Steffens, not even sight unseen, just so we have some players. So now we got it to a point, Jeff, where we've got continuity, and the expectations are going to increase, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should welcome that, embrace that. And I read your thing today, and you said that in your digital 5. So I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how it is, and that's what you should want. You should want high level expectations. That's part of it. Just like I said, if we take an L, you have an issue if the fans are okay with an L. No, you want them to be a little upset. You know why? Because they care. You should want fans to, hey, when we land in the airport, when we land, people are saying, Coach, man, we're so ready let's get to the Final Four next year. You should want that. That means you're at an elite level program. 99% of the programs are on page 9C. We're on 1C.
Coach, you talk a lot about expectations and pressure. As the paychecks increase, do you feel more pressure to produce? And also, do you also feel more of a responsibility to turn around? I know you're big into philanthropies, turn around and give back and maybe create a foundation, something like that? Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. I'm a pretty simple guy. I'm a simple guy on that stuff. I believe in giving back. Look, the coach's salaries now these days, it ends up being the market, whether it's right or wrong, fair or not. It's the market is what it is. That's just how it is. It's just, that's part of the business we're in. And I like to give back. I'm not as much on starting a foundation. I like to help as many people as I can, whether it's my time or anything I can do financially. I do the very best I can. And again, like I said, I got the same shoes on, from the beginning of the year. I'm not a flashy guy. I'm the same guy. If anyone goes out to eat with me, I never let anyone pick up the tab. I buy everyone's dinner, and I tip very well. So I tip very well. So that's everyone. Seriously, I've been to restaurants and people fight to get to serve my table. So that's. But anyway, so I you know what? Everything's a gift. I really look at it, everything's a gift, and I don't take this for granted. And so nothing's going to change in my mindset. I'll be the same guy. I'll be, same guy dealing with Dave and George and everybody else just, with stuff. So nothing will change.
Hey, Coach, again, I heard the question, but I didn't quite get the answer. So did you get any phone calls, and was there ever any serious consideration of really leaving?
There's been no job offers. People have talked. You're going to talk. People talk. that's just part of the profession. That's like if Corey, if you have ABC from New York call you, you might talk to them. That doesn't mean anything. You're still at Memphis. If Jason Smith and Jeff Calkins gets a Charlotte Observer, the New York Times calling, what are you going to do? You might listen. You might just talk to them. That doesn't mean anything. That's just everyday life. If Greg has something from Maryland or Eli in Oxford, you might just listen. You know what I mean? That's just part of it. But there's a difference. There's nothing with talking and this and that. Sometimes in this day and age, because of the Twitter world we live in, things get a little just a little overdrawn at times. So, like I said, my whole focus has been Memphis since the second Michigan State we lost a game. Like I told you, I was sick on Sunday. I was thinking, what can we do to do better for next year, and also what can we do better in the early season tournaments. I think that's a big thing too. I was already talking to our staff about that.
Josh, you've mentioned the core group that you expect coming back a couple of times. So if you would, define that group that you think is coming back.
Well, Dave, I just starting to meet with guys today, and I say in the core group, the entire returning guys. Again, could a guy transfer somewhere? That's part of it. we signed 5 good players coming in. Here's what I can assure you. You always have my word on this. We will never not have good players. You have my word. We will always recruit good players. There is no, I've said this a long time. A really good coach is one that can win with bad talent. I never want to be a really good coach. I don't want to do that. I'll be happy being an average coach. Let's go get great players. You're better off having a chance with talent. So we're recruiting guys now, even in the spring class. We're on top of guys. We'll always have players. I will not go in a season without good players. That's an automatic, 100%. So no matter what, we're going to have good players. And I understand. Hey, next year, look, we're competing against the high level again, and we've got to have great players. That doesn't guarantee anything, but you have a better chance of winning. You have a better chance of winning 30 games like we did 31 games with good players and good character guys, which we have.